my best friends. Some people say we have a problem, but every night I'm making new best friends, and the only problem is we like having a good time.
Hello, hello, hello. Love wrestling. It is Thursday night. It is 8 p.m. And you know what that means. It is
What
another
does that
episode.
mean?
It means it's another episode of Between Two Beards, Pluggo. That's what the hell it means.
Oh,
You're
is
yelling
that
at
what
me
that
for to
means?
start the show. Jesus.
Fired up today,
Anyway,
baby. What a week.
Anyway, I missed you last night because I was at Dynamite.
Yeah,
But
big time in us.
yeah. How you doing, bud?
I kept the whole night yesterday during the stream. Every
Yeah.
time they pan to the crowd, I go, "Is that JPJ? Is that JPJ?" I kept looking for you. I couldn't find you.
Yeah.
You must have been in the press box with old TK hanging out.
Yeah, that's what it was. How we doing, man? How's
I'm
ahead.
doing well. Tomorrow night is my 5-year. Tomorrow, I guess, the whole day. From like midnight to midnight is my 5-year wedding anniversary.
Hey, congratulations.
This is Pluggo.
Congratulations.
All of her Christmas trees. We're going to go out and celebrate.
Are you taking all 4 of them with you? What
Yeah,
about the kids?
I don't give a shit about my kids. No, I'm just kidding. I ain't no Brock Lesnar.
Oh, no.
But enough about me.
Yeah, we got a special guest.
Friends.
He's backstage right now.
We got a
guest
of honor.
tonight. We need to bring him on. So we're going to pop him on right now, and we're just going to start chatting. No, here he is.
Oh, shoot.
Where's the special guest?
The check is cleared, friends.
The check is clear. It had been a while since we have blown the budget. We've been a little tame, with Mania season going on. We've
been
safe, but we were like, you know what? It's the post-Mania show. You got to go. I mean, WWE didn't, but you got to go big on the post-Mania episode. You have to.
Fun fact: this isn't Warren Hayes. This is Andrew, his younger brother.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, I'm the cheaper, less expensive brother. Exactly. Who surprisingly I don't even shave. Neither does Warren. So it's like there's no way to really tell us apart. But yes, I am
Andrew.
That's good stuff. That's good stuff.
Probably the highlight. Was that the highlight of the Raw after WrestleMania
outside
this year?
Of the Cody promo?
Yeah, I would say the Cody promo and that were the two things.
And then it was like, oh, it's going to be a great show. And
that was not. That was really bad. That was one of the worst Raw after Manias I can remember. It was
they've been really bad.
Yeah, they've been bad the last few years. Yeah, this one though just felt like
because there's not even like excitement over NXT call-ups anymore. Like there's nothing. You remember a few years ago the timelines would just be flooded with who's coming up next, they're calling up Adam Cole finally this year. That'd be going on for like 3 years straight, right? It's just boring. And you guys were excited about the Cody promo?
I wouldn't say excited, intrigued.
Yeah, I mean that was like the one thing on the show I knew I definitely wanted to see. I wanted to see his first WWE promo. I thought I like the sentiment of it. As someone who has lost his dad, I had a certain connection to it. I understood, but I didn't think they were going to go that route. I didn't think they were going to go, but it's from the heart. I was all right with it. I wasn't as good as I had envisioned that it would be. If that makes sense.
What my main takeaway is how much of a Cody promo it was.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? As opposed to the overly scripted nonsense, It was very much a Cody promo. But then again, I've heard him say that same promo 2 times in the past with varying, intense.
Yeah.
He did. This is the promo he cut before facing Nick Aldis. What's that?
Yeah.
This one was in the WWE though.
Well, see, that's it. So he tweaks things, but this is essentially what he talked about when he faced Nick Aldis for the NWA title at All In, and towards the start of AEW, I think it's when he challenged Jericho for the world title.
With the
there's variants of the "I'm doing this for Dusty" promo.
Oh, look who's in the chat.
And I've seen this song and dance before. Now, am I perturbed about it? Am I like, nah, brother's got to work? That's fine. The wrestlers. Go with what you. I would much prefer Cody driving home the fact that everything he does is for Dusty in every single promo that he does, as opposed to, just rambling on some WWE nonsense like they do with Edge, for instance.
Yeah, that's true.
I'll take Cody any day.
Speaking of, Mrs. Pluggo is in the chat. She said, hi. Before the show started, Warren had a question. I was trying to get you to come back down. You might as well.
Okay, because I pop in.
Professional around here.
No, absolutely not. I pop in and I see Pluggo talking to someone, and then she leaves off camera, and I turn to Pluggo and I say, who was that? Who were you speaking to? And he says, well, that's my wife. And I straight up tell him, how did you manage to marry such a beautiful woman?
Yeah.
This is a shoot. This is absolutely what I said.
Yes, it was. And then Pluggo tried to get her. He was like, come back down and please answer this. And it didn't happen.
But hey, congratulations to both of you on your 5 years.
Yes,
that's amazing. That's many congratulations. Of course, for tomorrow. We're doing it early.
Put up with me for this long. I don't know how days work anymore. Every day is an anniversary here at the Pluggo household because that's how in love I am with my wife.
Oh God! Look at this guy. He's he's going to get to sleep in on Saturday.
Oh,
look at that.
100%. Oh man.
Oh, anyway, we were talking about Cody. Yeah, so the Cody promo, I think everybody was intrigued about it because obviously it's the first thing he said. Yeah, see, thank you, she says. Yes.
You're welcome. You're very welcome.
Yes.
She's a smoke show, and I am not so much. I mean,
and you're the fire.
As I say, I let her do get the 4 Christmas trees. Do what you got to do, because when you look like me, you don't say no to a woman that looks like that. You just don't.
Well, all right.
That's marriage advice.
Enough with the romance.
Anyway,
let's talk about the romance of professional wrestling.
But yeah, the Cody stuff, right? Great. Like, we were all excited. We're there. It's 8:00. It's the Monday after Raw. You've got everybody in because we want to hear what he has to say. Mm-hmm. And then as soon as he leaves the ring, you're just like, all right, that's all we needed to do tonight. Roman main evented, and all he said was
watch SmackDown.
Yeah.
Watch SmackDown. Okay, cool.
Ezekiel, come on.
Ezekiel is funny as hell, though.
Yes,
I'm going to tell you guys. Look, this is what I'm pondering, I'm this is what I'm wondering, and as I'm wondering, I already know I'm giving them too much credit. Is this WWE's like very meta way of dealing with all the repackagings that they've been doing, where they expect us to not remember who this person is, right? Like Walter, like Pete Dunne, right?
Sorry, who?
Butch, the pugnacious Butch,
scrappy
spark plug, that one.
He is the scrappy dude of that game.
He's exactly. So it's like, is this WWE's very on the nose, very wink wink, nudge nudge kind of way of saying, we know what we do here? Because if so, I think it's funny as hell, and I hope Ezekiel every week, or Elias, whatever you want to call it, comes in every week or every 2 weeks or so as a new relative. He's just doing something different with his hair.
That would be amazing.
He's letting the beard grow in a bit. We don't see him for 2 weeks. He comes in, he's got mutton chops, and it's like, well, my name is Bryson. I'm Elias's second cousin, That would be great. But I think I'm giving them too much credit. I really think I am. But I think it was perfect.
I actually and AEW payroll, Warren.
Yeah, and I actually enjoyed the Ezekiel thing, as ridiculous as it was. Like that, Kevin Owens was magnificent as always in that promo. I thought it was funny. I thought that was probably literally the only true highlight of the show, because it was just so bizarre. It was just so like, he came out and I was like, who the hell is this guy? And then they changed the camera angle, and I did the same thing Kevin Owens said to him. I go, that's Elias. And I was just like, that's Elias. Oh,
I'd like to live in a world where Kevin Owens literally nobody told him.
Yeah.
And he just rolls out there, and he's
everything we got and everything we got was legitimate. It's like, no, wait a second.
Yeah.
Wait a second.
And I'm glad it was Kevin Owens because they had a history together. Those two, they were together for a bit, so it made sense. And WWE all the time doesn't do that.
Like,
So like that was like a
eyes.
proper. It was good. It was good.
All
right. There's a couple things, but I wanted to ask you about what did you think? So WrestleMania was this past week, obviously. I thought it was actually pretty good. I thought, there was a lot of stuff on a 4-hour show on Sunday. You got to have more than an hour of wrestling. I would like more than like an hour and 10 minutes of wrestling on my 4-hour WrestleMania.
Well, you got an hour and 35. How about that?
Okay, there we go. Okay. So damn. But however, there was a match on that card that I very much enjoyed. And I hadn't enjoyed a wrestling match at that level of like just in it, laughing my butt off, enjoying it. And it was Johnny Knoxville and Sami Zayn. And I wanted to get Warren's opinion on that match. Again, like it wasn't the best wrestling match of the weekend, clearly. But for me,
now.
and I was a Jackass guy when that came out back then,
Sure.
so that adds to it, I'm sure. But to me, like I was laughing my ass, like I just enjoyed every second of that. And I saw Sami Zayn tweeted today that it was one of his favorite matches he's ever done, and he says that he thinks that one will be remembered kind of forever a little bit. Yeah, just your opinions on the spectacle that was Johnny Knoxville and Sami Zayn.
There's a couple of things that happened to me during WrestleMania weekend where I'm like, you know what? We take wrestling so goddamn seriously sometimes. And I got this epiphany, I guess, when I was watching Effie's Big Gay Brunch on Saturday morning, which is a show that at some point I just, I was looking at it and at some point I was like, I haven't stopped smiling. I have not stopped smiling.
Yeah.
And Effie's shows are not known for their intense work rate 5-star classics. You know what I mean? It's fun, right? Mm-hmm. So you turn around here, you have Sami Zayn doing outrageous comedy spots in a wrestling environment, which is already absurd. Because think about what we're into, guys. Yeah. We're into ladies and men pretend fighting with each other, and we're into
what?
That.
What? Wait,
what? Like the absurdity of it. We know it's not even a question. Yeah. It's not even a question that it's a shooter or work. It's not even that. It's like, it's fake. Yes, of course. That's fine. But we're into it, right? Yeah. And you have this stuff show up. Look, it was fine. Did I enjoy everything? No. I thought when it got weird towards the end, I was like, sure. Why was the hand there? I don't know. But he ran into it, and it was shot properly, so I didn't expect it. That was neat. And
Mark Henry tweeted out that only him and young produced
generational talent. What a great tweet. But I mean, that's the point, right? It's just like it was supposed to be silly. I don't know what anyone else was expecting. Were they expecting Johnny Knoxville to go out there and
Canadian destroyers?
Yeah, it's like, look at him transition out of a dragon sleeper into the label lock. Fuck off.
Johnny Knoxville, he's known for that 5-star work rate, man.
It's like, it was fine. It was absolutely fine. And sometimes I feel we just have to lighten up. I will say though, that I'm convinced that this match was produced by the Jackass guys, because WWE doesn't do comedy this good. They really don't.
True. That was
these were all Jackass gimmicks. The groin kicker and the big mousetrap thing. No one backstage at WWE is even remotely that handy. It's like no. I'm convinced this match was put together by Knoxville and Zayn, and they did it their own way because this was not WWE comedy.
There we go. Pop Couture, if Knoxville trapped Sami Zayn in that Giants mount trap and Japan Meltzer would have given it 12 stars. And I agree.
And here's the thing, because I got to bounce really soon, but this is my last thought about it, and because sometimes, like, I don't like to do the compare and contrast stuff, but sometimes it's very glaring. If someone can sit back and tell me, you know what? The Stadium Stampede match was a hoot. Don't take it too seriously. Enjoy it. There were resurrections. There were, glasses of milk and all of that stuff. And there were horses. And if anyone can tell me that, and in the same sentence or so, or at least a year removed, tell me the Johnny Knoxville thing sucked, I'm like, nah.
Yeah,
like
I didn't think of it that way, but that's
show us some consistency, because I did see some friends, peers, allies, whatever you want to call them, where they're like, I know they ranted high on the Stadium Stampede and they're shitting on the Johnny Knoxville stuff, and I'm like, I don't get it. I don't understand. To me, it's the same bar.
Thing. Yeah, it's the same level of thing that we're doing here.
We're going to drown Matt Hardy in a pool, and he's going to come back to life. But for some bizarre reason, a giant hand at ringside is going to completely break your suspension of disbelief with the bricks.
Yeah.
It's just like me and my wife, equal levels of good lookingness.
I don't think that was what he was saying, Pluggo. But
look, whatever analogy.
That's all I've heard since
it's your anniversary tomorrow, so we'll let it slide. All right, we'll let it slide.
We had to have Warren come on and give in-depth analysis of my love life / WrestleMania, but not any of the
no. He was just interested of what a good-looking woman was doing near you. I think that's what he was. That was where he was coming.
That was the shocker. Exactly. It was like, this is the it's the DoorDash person who just dropped off my Burger King.
Yeah, I tipped her extra to come downstairs. I leave the burger upstairs, but here's $20. Just make it.
And then he's pretending, come back, honey, come back.
She's like, bro, I need another 20. I'm like, I'm broke. You know how expensive Warren is, Jay?
Oh, no.
Warren, it's always a pleasure to have you. I know you've got something going on literally in like 10 minutes, so please tell our people where you're going to be.
Well, in a couple of minutes, I'm going to start up a stream casual, start to chat with people in preparation for the recording of tonight's edition of the Mr. Warren Hayes Show, 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 Central. Once these guys are done, you can come on over to my place. We're very welcoming, open arms. Of course, I'm going to be going down the entire card of WrestleMania. I haven't chatted about it yet. Going to talk about Super Card of Honor as well. I think there's a lot of good stuff that happened there, but there's also a lot of stuff to unpack as far as the future of Ring of Honor as well. And per usual, I'm going to break down last night's Dynamite, which there's a surprising amount of stuff to talk about, and I don't think people are talking enough about Jade Cargill's awesome promo.
Oh shoot, that was great.
Last night. She was incredible.
Yeah. And
now she's achieved another level.
I was there. It was in Boston. It's where I'm from. I was there last night. When she finished that, when she said, "I'm the problem solver," that crowd was loud. That crowd was loud. And I think
she's amazing. There's so many layers to what she did.
Yeah, and everyone there is, even if you weren't on her like from the beginning, like on the band, everyone now is like, okay, like this is the future of women's professional. Like she's got everything you could ever dream about having.
A lot of us said from the get-go, she's got all the tools. We're excited to see it uncork, right? Oh, she uncorked something fierce last night.
Yeah, it was excellent.
Ooh, Nelly.
It was
anyway,
excellent.
So yeah, if you want to come over, it's at youtube.com/Mr. Warren Hayes. Would love to see you there.
All right, Warren, thank you again. As always, a pleasure having you on.
Always coming on, Andrew. Tell Warren.
Sorry, I'm Andrew. God, I've been calling him the wrong. No.
Jeez,
I'll tell Warren that you guys are happy.
Good to see you, my friend. Thank you.
Appreciate it, my friend. Have a great night, man. We'll see you in the chat.
Thank you for having me on, fellas.
In a little bit.
All right.
Take it easy.
I love that.
Always a good time to have the Mr. Warren Hayes show up on Between Two Beards and blow a little bit of that budget. We ain't forgotten our roots. We know where we came from. We be spending that money.
Oh yeah. Oh
yeah. Just because
it's been a while.
Don't think we got soft.
Yeah, it had been a while. You know, I had to buy AEW Dynamite tickets. You know, I had to do all that stuff. So I had to
diversify the budget to some other shows. You know, it is what it is. But we're back, baby.
We are.
But yes, WrestleMania week was fantastic. I thought it was a great weekend overall.
I thought so too.
I thoroughly enjoyed both nights, but I will say my only minor complaint was that it did drag. Like they could have easily tightened that up and did 3-hour shows.
I have more than a minor complaint about one thing that happened on WrestleMania.
The Vince McMahon stunner.
No, that was, come on. I was crying laughing. I was crying laughing when that happened. I was literally laughing so hard that I was crying. It was like the way he took the stunner was amazing. It was so bad that it was amazing. But there was so much that happened before the stunner that was like Austin gave him the kick or whatever happened, and he like stumbled on his feet. He flailed. He like fell back into the ropes. Austin trying to grab him. Austin's already laughing. Austin is already laughing. Like, what is happening here?
And he's got a beer. He's got a mouthful of beer.
A mouthful of beer.
He spits the beer out to make it look cooler. So Austin's trying to hold in this mouthful of beer.
And Vince is, I don't know what is happening. I don't know what is happening. And then he drops, and I thought he tore both his quads again. I thought he tore both. The way he fell, I was like, he fucked his shit up.
Maybe he did. No, we just don't know it.
No question.
Come out later.
I see Turnbuckle talk in the chat.
Carl
from earlier. Carl, we love you, man. I think we had Warren on when you popped that in, but we love you. Thanks for being here, brother.
What was your gripe with WrestleMania then? You said you had more than one. I'm ready.
I thought what they did to the New Day was downright disrespectful. I thought it was
having a loose or cutting it and then shortening the match.
All of it. You got to cut it. You got to cut it. Apparently, they were told before that, hey, your match is the floater match. So if we have time shit, we'll move you to tomorrow. Apparently, that's what happened. Fine.
Well, then cut the Undertaker's
twice.
40 minutes between two spots.
No, here's my thing. Oh, my God. I'm not upset that they lost the match. You want to have Sheamus and Ridge Holland win? Fine. Ridge Holland is a new character. They have Butch on the outside doing whatever the fuck they want Butch to do. I don't even know. Just fucking the worst. Poor Pete Dunne. You want to have them win? Fine. I'm okay with that. I'm not saying it's disrespectful because the New Day lost. I'm saying they lost in 1 minute and 47 seconds.
Right.
Why have the match? Why don't just move the match to SmackDown and just have it on SmackDown where they can have time? And even worse, they're wearing gear that is a tribute to Big E, who just broke his freaking neck.
Right.
On live television, which you had no problem all weekend showing fucking replays of. Literally showing replays of a human being breaking their neck over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
And they get 1 minute and 47 seconds wearing his tribute gear. The greatest tag team of all time. You had a countdown of the greatest tag teams of all time, and you had them number 1. The greatest tag team of all time. They are one of your top 3, 4, 5 attractions on the show. Have been for almost it feels like a fucking decade by now. For a long time. And you're going to give them 1 minute and 47 seconds. Squash. After one of their members literally broke his neck for your fucking company 3 weeks earlier. Are you shitting me? Are you shitting me?
Just so you can have, and as much as we enjoyed the Vince Austin stuff, that lasted a long time.
Vince needed to have a match with Pat McAfee. He couldn't have just beat up Pat McAfee and then Austin comes out and you get to the same fucking destination.
You could have cut some time. That's all I'm saying. Again, and I said it last week. I'll say it till I'm blue in the face. I'm a proponent of the one night WrestleMania. I love it. I love the idea of just one night, get it in, have a good time. But if you're going to do 2 nights, you got to pace it, especially if you're going to do the same shit 2 nights in a row. You did the Austin stuff twice, which, okay, I get it. You got
both.
Cold,
yeah.
Live it up. But you did it twice. You did the Undertaker stuff twice. And I, again, love him or hate him, that took forever.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, just trim down a little bit of your show, find some spots, and give Kofi and Xavier that
Kofi
time.
and Xavier Woods. And again, and I would even argue, and I'm not going to argue because it's true. The minute and 47-second match does no favors to Sheamus and Ridge Holland either. That serves no purpose for anybody in that match. Yeah, they got to win at WrestleMania. Whoop-de-doo.
Because
that doesn't help anybody. That doesn't help anybody.
They didn't even look strong because the whole time you're worried about Scrappy Doo Pete Dunne.
Yeah, which running around like a jackass.
Can I just say?
I can't. I'm going to get angry about it.
They took the coolest, most calm, meticulous wrestler, like mastermind Pete Dunne, cool as a cucumber, could mess you up on the flick of a snap of a finger, and they turned him into the spark plug Scrappy Doo, gotta hold him back guy.
I can't.
My goodness. Like, it just, Butch, whatever, bro. No, I just feel like it was just counterproductive to boot the match off of night one and then put it on night two because we bitched about it not being on night one, to only give it 2 minutes when you could have easily figured out some ways to tighten things up. Like, I even feel like by the time we got to Reigns and Lesnar, I'm exhausted as it is because it's a hell of a weekend. But even that, that felt rushed because I think Roman got hurt.
I think Brock got hurt too. It looked like Brock fucked up his rib or something.
Could you imagine if they went the whole distance there? We're talking 12:30, 1 o'clock, and you can't tell me in 6 hours. None of this stuff was on there was no pre-show match. You could have given Kofi and them the pre-show and let them go for 20 minutes and absolutely kill it. I mean, again, I sound like we're just shitting on WrestleMania, but overall,
I thoroughly enjoyed WrestleMania. Weekend. I just said that was really the only thing that pissed me off. And again, this is not because they didn't win. They didn't need to win. I would have had no problem with them having a 5 or 6 minute fast-paced tag match that Sheamus and Ridge Holland won, with Ridge Holland getting the pin, looking good. He's the young guy that is going to be around for they're hoping a while. Fine. I got no problem with them winning the match. The way the match went, disrespectful. Yeah. New Day deserves better than that, and Sheamus deserves better than that. Yeah, and Ridge Holland too. No shade. I know Ridge Holland, he messed up with the Big E stuff, and he deserves criticism for that. But
a great spot to let him.
Yes,
to let him get some respect.
If that match was even 3 or 4 minutes longer, that was just everyone that was involved with that deserved better than that, and that was frustrating, especially the New Day, considering the circumstances as well. Like, that is not cool. How do you think Big E felt watching WrestleMania while he's sitting on his couch and then fucking neck brace? And he's like, "Oh, my boys are wearing my gear. Like, that's awesome. Great. Cool. Oh, all right. Wow. Cool. All right. Mm-hmm. Dope. Glad you treated him like that. Cool. Not ideal.
I'll say this. I'm glad that they went that route. At least it wasn't a women's match that they cut like they always do. They just literally that's okay. The private chat's super funny. Oh. I'm not gonna say it on air, but super funny. Yeah. But yeah, it just it dampened what was a good night. I mean, we talked about the Knoxville stuff with Warren, so we won't dive too deep into that. But that's so funny to me. Had a good time with that. Logan Paul looked like $1 million. Look, he's been doing this forever. And I think there's still more meat on the bone because the Miz turned on him, which I thought was an odd move because the Miz turning on Logan Paul. I know that you're trying to make Logan Paul the baby face, but everybody hates Logan Paul. So in the turn, everybody kind of cheered the Miz.
Well, I think,
so
I think they did that. Yeah, I think they did that to make Miz in a better light. I think they did that
so?
Yeah, 100%. Maybe not a baby face, but at least in a better light.
But the stories I read was that Logan Paul wrote into his contract that he got a baby face from, but people don't
But nobody's going to root for him. He's a piece of shit.
Right.
Like, nobody's going to root for that guy. But
look, no offense, Logan.
I have to look at, if we got to speak objectively about it, regardless of how I personally feel about the Paul brothers. I don't know if you saw Jake Paul on the pre-show.
I did.
He was good. And Logan Paul, every time
good.
he's been on WWE television, he's been good. He's been very good. They're just not great people.
Those two know exactly what they're doing, and
100%.
they do it incredibly well.
100%.
Like, I would kill for a fraction of their social media following. Like, don't get me wrong. They are insanely good at what they do. I just thought it was an odd move to just turn him. And then it was just kind of like, I get what you're doing. The Miz is still a heel, but we'll see how it plays out. We'll let it play out, right? We'll let it play out. The match of the weekend for me, or the match of the night, at least for Mania, Becky Lynch and Bianca Belair, of course. I thought that was awesome.
Oh, I thought that was the best wrestling match of the weekend.
Came out looking like $1 million. I loved the Titantron thing where it was then, now, and forever, but it was all Becky moments.
Yep. And then she had the car.
Yep.
And then Bianca Belair had the marching band, which was incredible. That was dope. I thought that was the best entrance of the weekend. I thought that was.
Did you see Becky shitting on it though? Like, the next night, she was like, in some random interview, she's like, I came out by myself like I always do because I'm the man. And she comes out with an army.
No,
she needed an army to, she was like crapping on the marching band.
That's incredible.
Like you need to calm down, Becky. That marching band was dope.
Hey, how's it going?
Vlogs, what's good? Call Pizzo, my guy.
Thanks for hopping in, brother. We're just we're not really going no rhyme or reason, but we're talking about Mania weekend as a whole. Just talking about a little bit of a recap. I thought Becky and Bianca was the best wrestling match of the weekend. I thought it was excellent. The beginning when they did the callback to SummerSlam where she hit the manhandle slam. She got out, she reversed the first one, and then she still hit it again within the first 30 seconds. And you're in the back of your mind, you're like, they're not going to do this again. But then you kind of know it's WWE, so it's like, oh shit, maybe they will, And then they got out of it, and then they strapped in for a back and forth. It was very, very.
And I love the story arc. I know the SummerSlam thing left a bad taste in a lot of our mouths because we just thought it was the wrong decision. I think everything that they've done in this build made up for it. Because last year she main events WrestleMania. It's an emotional moment for her and Banks, as it should have been. So it's kind of like this. She gets the big win at the main event, but she still is like young, and it's like, oh, it was an emotional victory. This was like she knew what she was getting into. She was ready for the moment, and she just took it to Becky Lynch, who was an all-time great.
Yep.
This was a passing of the torch type moment. This says to me that there's the 4 horsewomen, and then there's Bianca Belair. Yep. Right? So she's number 5, hands down, no ifs, ands, or buts. She's the next generation. And then hopefully they fill in behind her with the Asuka come back strong. Bailey. Well, Bailey's a 4 horse, so I'm sorry. Alexa Bliss is still in the mix, but you've got this next piece. Because again, and I've said it for a long time, they need to build stars in the women's division because Becky went off and had a family. Charlotte eventually might want to do the same. They're also getting up there in age. No disrespect. They're still all-time greats, but you've got to start passing torch. This was the moment to do it. Belair filled the shoes. She looked great. She did an awesome job on Monday after Mania, which, again, that was about it.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, we didn't mention her at all, but I thought that promo was good on Monday.
Yeah. What a terrible Raw after Mania.
Oh, man.
Come on.
God.
Those used to be all
brutal.
We literally, no joke, full disclosure, behind the scenes, we were going to do a Raw after Mania Reacts. We both texted each other nearly at the same time and was like, I'm not going to make it till 11.
Like, this is brutal.
Nothing happened.
Nothing happened. Literally nothing happened.
And in wrestling, for me personally, like, things got to happen for me to be like, oh, shoot, right? Keep me hyped. But if you're just like, we're just going to talk, and Ezekiel's going to come out, which is awesome.
Ezekiel was good. I was pro Ezekiel. I didn't mind the Cody promo. I think it could have been. I think this is a good comment by Hab Guy here.
Hab Guy, welcome to the chat.
Thanks for hopping in, man. He says, I like how they both had Becky and Ronda lose, so if they do a feud between those two, There isn't a little. Yes, I agree.
Yes, and
But I do think by the time, so that's going to culminate next year at Mania, and I think by the time we get there, it's going to be heel Ronda Rousey versus the Man.
as it should be.
Yes.
Let me ask you this: how did you feel about Flair and Rousey? Ric Flair called it the greatest women's wrestling match of all
Ric
time.
Flair's an idiot.
That's the bar he set. So that's where I'm asking.
Yeah,
JPJ,
it wasn't that. It wasn't
Okay.
that. All right, here's the thing. It was fine.
Yeah.
It was
I
fine.
thought it was slow to start because I
Yes.
think they were feeling each other out.
Yeah.
But
I thought it was fine.
Ronda proved that she can go. And if she's got the
she was
right
fine.
opponent that can carry her, which Charlotte Flair is,
Mhm.
that it's a good match. Yeah, it was a little long. I think they could have, like, that was another, they could have tightened that up a little bit. I think they were trying to do too much and they were letting them go, which is fine. Whatever, but you tighten that up. You shave like 2 minutes off that match. It's like phenomenal.
Yeah,
but
I agree.
I digress. I thought that was, but I also thought that was a weird call to have Charlotte win the way she won, but it leaves the door open for them to run it back. So
yeah. I was laughing my ass off during that whole segment of Ezekiel, so I'm not gonna fully judge it until I see a little bit more of it. But that segment on Monday, I was laughing my ass off.
It's because Kevin Owens. And speaking of that, we didn't even talk about Kevin Owens.
Oh no, we're going to. Yeah, we're still on Mania.
He played that perfect.
Kevin Owens rules. He's my favorite.
That was fantastic.
He needs to. It's a crime that he hasn't been a world champion since he was the Universal Champion, whatever, 4 or 5 years, whatever it was. It's an absolute crime that he hasn't been world champion.
Well, I think
ridiculous.
He is. Part of it is that he might have played the WWE a little bit, and like, I might leave, I might not, because when he was at the end of that contract, he was on fire.
Yeah,
but they weren't going to pull the trigger on him because they weren't sure if he was going to stay, but he did his thing, got his paycheck. I think now's the time to strike. If you wanted, you got to figure out how to split these belts up.
we have Gene in here, the artist formerly known as Elias. Oh man, Kevin Owens was literally, like I said it when we were talking to Warren, magnificent. Kevin Owens is magnificent.
He literally,
he's the man. He's the on Monday, before that whole Ezekiel thing, he was in there cutting a promo, and this was that was a good part of Raw too. And he was saying, "I'm one of the all-time greats." He was saying, he's 100% true. That's right. He is. That guy rules. He has been given so much different stuff since he's been in WWE, and he has made all of it work. Whether he's a good guy, a bad guy, doesn't matter.
And he puts his body
fucking
on
kills
the
it.
line.
Yes, and he does crazy stuff, crazy bumps,
remember when
ridiculous stuff.
He
is as good as it gets. And I still say, in this current run of Roman, which for me is a Mount Rushmore all-time run he's on right now, his best, the matches, his best was the series with Kevin Owens.
Okay.
All the way back at the beginning.
You could take the L out of that half guy and just say KO is God.
You could.
But no, yeah, he's gold. Yeah, and my favorite part of the whole Stone Cold thing, even that the build up to that was a little long as well. But like Kevin, you could just tell he knew, like, this, I'm gonna make Stone Cold Steve Austin look like $1 million. And I am in the main event. He was like, you could see, like, he was trying not to smile because he's supposed to be a piece of shit. And he is just like holding back. I'm in the main event of WrestleMania with Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Yeah. I'm fighting Stone Cold Steve Austin in the main event of a WrestleMania. Like, what is my life? What is my life?
And he made Stone Cold look like he hadn't missed a step.
Stone Cold taking a suplex on the concrete like that. Oh,
goats! That's goats shit.
I mean, that was enjoyable. That match I thought was,
because I mean, after 19 years, right? You're a little sus. You're like, it's not going to be the Stone Cold that we know. No, and it wasn't vintage Stone Cold, but it was like 19 years, and you're bringing this to the table. Hell yeah, good for you.
We talked about this literally, I think, seconds before you popped in here, but that was. That was one of the greatest things I've ever seen in my life. I said it on here. I said I was crying laughing. That's how good that was.
Like
Brought me to tears.
everything can't be perfect. Everything.
No,
no,
that's not even. That's a different level.
Like, things happen. Like McMahon.
It was the thing for me is like the stunner is terrible. Fine, right? That made me laugh. It was everything. The flailing. He almost fell. He would have fallen over if the ropes weren't there. He was going down. You know what I mean? He was falling down, and he luckily, he just hit the ropes, and then Stone Cold literally had to like stay up, okay, now we're going. He's like holding him like a baby. I'm like, oh, what is happening here? And like I told you, I thought the way that he fell, I thought he tore both his quads again. I swear to God, I was like, oh no. I was like that. I'm like, there's no way he's not hurt. There's no way he's not hurt. It's an 80-year-old man.
I mean that was just, you gotta laugh at that point, right? Like, what am I going to
Did you see the video of Mick Foley?
Yeah,
laughing his ass off at it.
That's what I say. At that point, am I going to get super nitpicky? Be like, "Oh, this WrestleMania was trash." Because
no,
come on,
it's so funny though. It's so good.
I'm not going to be mad. Like, what am I going to be mad about? I got other things I can be mad about.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. That was good. Yeah, and that was my favorite part.
Trying to kill a guy.
Yeah, that was my favorite part. It was Austin just dying laughing. Yeah, he's like just running around the ring, just laughing his ass off. Like he knew he was laughing before he dropped down to the stunner. Like he was already like, this is absurd.
He's going, this is funny as hell, but at least I'm getting that check.
Yeah.
Vince, you could flop around like a fish for all I care for the money you gave me. Like,
yeah, Drew McIntyre did I kind of liked the ropes bit. I thought the ropes bit was fine,
but then they put him on all crooked.
Oh, they did. Yeah.
I texted you. I was like, the whole match. I'm like, what the hell?
Like that bottom rope was like facing like directly with us. Cameron, I'm like, that doesn't look right. What is happening there?
Overall, that match was really good. Corbin, Drew.
I think that was better than I thought it was going to be.
That's what I was going to get at. Right, every match that we talked about last week, where we were saying, this could be on SmackDown. I just don't care. It doesn't mean anything. It still lived up to or past the expectation of like, oh no, that was actually pretty solid. But not everything was a 5-star match, but it was overall a great weekend, a good night.
Well, I mean, we have to talk about.
What do we have to talk about? What are we talking about next?
Cody. We didn't talk about Cody.
Who?
Cody Rhodes, the American Nightmare.
Oh, isn't he in AEW?
I thought his match with Seth was a very good match.
I thought Seth's gear was fabulous.
Was amazing.
Fire. Amazing.
I personally believe that Seth, and we said it here the last couple of weeks, Seth Rollins right now is, I think, the best he's ever been as a total package. We've always known that he's one of the best wrestlers in the world.
Yeah.
But character work now, this is unbelievable. Yeah, he comes out, the gear, he was looking good. And then we saw it. We saw fully presented. We heard wrestling has more than one royal family.
Yeah.
The music kicked. Adrenaline in my soul.
Exactly. Who? Cody. Who's that?
Yeah.
Like what?
And we saw Cody Rhodes rise up. The pop was insane. And that was the same Cody Rhodes that we saw 2 months prior on AEW Dynamite. And that's what it needed to be. And that's what we saw. I loved the ode that Cody gave to Stardust in the match, where he did the cartwheel and the hands, and then he was like, "All right, that's over with. That I'm acknowledging this. Yes, we're done. This is what we're doing now. This is the Cody I am." I thought they had a great match, as you would expect them to do. Yeah. I mean, it was, and Corey Graves said it, and it was true. Like, it was truly like, even though we kind of knew it was happening, it had leaked, we knew it was happening. It was surreal to see him. Like, it was surreal to see him. It was like, holy crap. Like, this is crazy.
Yeah. Today's wrestling era has ruined the surprise, right? But even so, like, you hear, like, leading up until that moment, you heard conflicting reports through whoever you choose to believe. Yeah, we roll with our buddy Sean Ross Sapp, friend of the show, when he says that it's so. But there's still 1,000 other outlets that are like, no, he could still sign an AEW. It's still possible. Meltzer was saying he could back out like the day before.
Mm-hmm.
So when it happens, you're still like, hell yeah, that's Cody Rhodes. And it's cool. And it's good for business. It's nice to see. Like AEW can't sign everybody, right? Some people are going to have to go the other way. And for Cody to do it, it's huge. Whether you love him or hate him, it's best. It's good for business. The match was fantastic. Yeah, there was some sloppy spots in it, but there should be. Because these two haven't wrestled. If they would have came out and put out like a 7-star Kenny Omega classic, I'd have been like, they've been, it was too polished. Like, nice. They were feeling each other out. It was slow in moments. There was a couple spots, but they're professionals and they killed it. And I loved it. And I love that Cody's in WWE. It gives us something else to talk about. Gives us a reason to tune into the Raw after Mania. And even though we talked about that, but hell yeah, dude, he's there. Cody's going to kill it. And I love that WWE so far, obviously it's only been 2 days, is letting him be the Cody Rhodes that he built outside of the WWE. That says a lot. And he claimed that the promo he cut was unscripted. He seems super excited to be there.
Yeah.
The Bucks are having fun with it. KO did the In the Dark match. Bucks pose. It's good. It's good. If you're upset about it, sorry.
I mean, it's good for wrestling. And I think, yeah, man. And then, we talked about it a little bit with Warren, but on Monday we can kind of just tie it all into the Cody, and then we can kind of hit. There's a few more things about Mania I want to chat about.
The code man.
The code man. So on Monday, Cody opened the show, which the report before it happened was that Cody was going to end the show, and I was like, what? Why would you? But now knowing that basically Roman ended the show and just said, "Hey guys, I'm here. Watch SmackDown on Friday."
Should have ended the show because I
feel like you gotta have Cody at the beginning. You gotta.
So?
I feel like the way that they went was the way to go. They should have had Roman do something more significant than just tell everyone to watch SmackDown.
Given what we saw,
yes. If you look at it post Raw, it would have made sense for Cody to end the show. But going into the show, Cody has to be first. That's the biggest story in the rest. Like, he needs to be first. You know what I mean? And I loved how he opened the show with, so what do you guys want to talk about? Like, that's what he had. That's what he should have said. That was his thing. That is his thing. The promo was okay. It was okay. It was good. Cody cuts a good promo. He's not going to have any bad ones.
But as Moore said, he cut the same promo we hear.
Yeah.
And I get it.
Yeah, we've heard it before, but I mean, he did it very well. I have a certain emotional attachment when you start talking about dads.
Yeah. I was just going to say
I lost my dad, so like I just have a different opinion of it, because when I see it and I see him getting emotional when he talks about his dad, I'm like, yeah, I get that, bro. Like, I get that. Like, I'm with you here. That is, cool. So like, I believe that reason. I believe it. And so I had a different opinion of the promo. Was it his best work? Absolutely not. But I liked it. I thought it was fun.
I will say this. He's going to have to come up with something else.
Oh, yeah.
That coming back to WWE, all the Dusty stuff, that makes absolute sense. You want to do right by your father.
Yeah, you got to acknowledge it right at the front.
Do things in the company that he didn't do or that you wanted to do while he was still alive. I love I love Dusty's. The Hard Times promo. I play that when I'm down and out. I play that promo. Yeah. I watch that. I study because it puts me in a good place. And Cody, like you said, attachment to your father. I want to do right by my father. I understand. I just felt like like Warren said, he did just use that not too long ago when he was in the NWA, and then he did it in AEW a little bit. He kind of steered. So yeah, you did it. You said why you're here. I'd like to see you expand on the Cody stuff. Why are you really here now? Like, yeah, this is why you're here, but why are you really here? Like, you're here in the perceived enemy that you helped fight against. Why are you really back? There's got to be something else, right?
Oh,
you
yeah.
Give the fans what you want night one, but give me, what are you really thinking, Cody?
Yeah, and I think we get there.
Hell yeah.
And
I'm excited.
Yeah. Pop Couture says the Dusty promo set up his motivation. That should be it. He shouldn't bring him up. I mean, look, Dusty's always going to be brought up by commentary, but that's their job. Commentary should bring up Dusty. Fans should bring up Dusty when they talk about Cody. Cody on Monday, his big return. He talked about his dad. He honored his dad. He got emotional about his dad. And he said, hey, the reason I'm here is to win the WWE title because a Rhodes has never done that. And I'm going to do it for my dad. Cool.
Oh, yeah.
Now, You start feuding with people. Now you let people know, hey, well, what are some of your other motivation? Or like, what else are you here for? And it's like, I'm back here because this is where I should have been last time. And I had to go out and prove to not only myself, not only the world, but I had to prove to the guy behind there that I'm this. And I did, and now I'm back. And I'm back to take the top title in his company. That's what I'm doing.
And if I'm him in those feuds that he's going to have, anybody that brings up his dad, I'd shut that down. Be like, no, you didn't talk about my dad. I talked about him. We're talking about me and you.
Have guy correct. Look at Pop. I want to win the 24/7 title because my dad didn't have the chance. Tremendous. That's good stuff.
But that's the problem, and that's what I think people are worried about in him being in the WWE is that they do the repetitive thing constantly. So they're gonna run on this until we get sick of it, and then we're gonna be like, oh, there they go, screwing up Cody Rhodes again. Yeah. I think if he's got an ear in the backstage, or he's got a voice, like I think he should, given the money he's gonna make. I hope he says, all right, we did that. I'm sure that's kind of what you wanted me to do because it does tie everything together. Here's what I want to do. Here's what else I want to go. Let's not beat a dead horse, or let's not live off of my father's name. Let's keep growing. So I'm hoping 21st. And the Have guy said, that's that Pop Couture guy. He's funny. I like it. I hope, I hope Cody does win the 24/7 title, like in like a quick, out of spite
I was
type
gonna,
deal.
I was gonna save it for a later show, and I know I'm not alone by saying it, but I'll say something for the people in the chat if you your opinion on this. But I think Cody's the dude to beat Roman.
Yeah,
I think it has to be Cody. I think you give me that match at SummerSlam, Cody wins. I can't see now that Roman beat Brock, and I'm going to assume that that's the end of Roman and Brock. It's been done 7 or 8 times
for now.
For at least a little. Like, how about we give it a 5-year break? If Brock's still around, then maybe on the farewell tour. But
what do you do with Brock now?
He's a babyface. He's a babyface. I fully think. Thank you. I do. Yes.
As we wait for our commenters to say how they feel about Cody beating Roman, what do you do with Brock now that he's lost?
I think Brock's going to go away. Okay. You want to be real? Can I be real with you?
That's what we are. We're the realists.
I would run it. Okay, this is going to get love and hate. Ooh. This is going to get love and hate because he's Brock Lesnar. He certainly doesn't need it. But I think as good guy Brock Lesnar, I wouldn't 100% be against him running back Money in the Bank and having. I would rather give it to somebody like Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens is my top choice to get Money in the Bank this year. But I think that would be a fun thing because that was so good. Everyone hated it because it's Brock and he doesn't need that shit because he doesn't. But when he won Money in the Bank the first time, everyone was eating that shit up. He was doing the boombox thing. He was being funny. It was fun. And then they just kind of quickly got it off him. They should have let that shit play out for a bit.
That's what I was gonna say. If they do it again, he needs to hold it literally
through the next year's Mania.
So then that way, and again, I think we've talked about it in the past.
This is not a bad idea either by Pop Couture
go ahead and read that out.
Have Brock be a surprise entrant in Money in the Bank, but still have Cody win the match and set up a Brock feud with someone else in that match. You could do that. Do that.
But I think I don't remember where I was going with it, but we talked the Brock thing. You didn't even need him to be there. You could have just played his music, and that strikes the fear in the heart. You get the crowd going. You think it's going to happen. Yeah. You could play with that shit for months, but they were so quick. And I don't know if it's because they just didn't think Braun was ready, so they pulled the trigger on Brock too quick. They didn't. I don't know, but the whole thing just seemed forced and odd, and it didn't need it. But this, if you want to keep Brock off TV because he's got 5 dates that he does a year. That's the way you do it, but you keep him right.
He's wrestled way more than 5 times already this year. Like he's been around.
Right, is he a full-time guy now?
No, I honestly, I think he broke some ribs. I think he broke some ribs on Mania. It looked like when he was doing some of those he was like, he kept his hand like down near his side a little bit and he was wincing. So he seemed to be kind of like he hurt himself a little bit, but I expect him to go off TV for a bit. But when he comes
that's what I'm
back, I
saying,
mean,
like,
he's
you
Brock
can-
Lesnar. He can do whatever.
That's what I'm saying. But if you want to keep him in the picture, but keep him off TV, that's how you do it.
Yeah.
You just pop his music on every so often and scare the shit out of whoever's got the belt. Which, if you're setting up Roman and The Rock, and you think you've gotten the bag next year because it's in Hollywood and you want to go big, and
I shouldn't be for the title.
You don't need the belts, right? And he's had it for almost he'll have it for 600 days plus by the time it gets to SummerSlam. If you want to keep him on that long, what else is he gonna? That's the thing too. Like, even with Roman, as great as it is, and we said it's a Mount Rushmore of all time runs, or
oh my god,
one of the all time runs. What else can he do?
He's beaten everybody. He's literally beaten everybody, except you got a guy now that is established. He's known, top name.
And if he takes an L, it'll hurt him more than it'll hurt Roman.
Correct. If Cody is going for the title, which his promo on Raw said that's why he's here, to win the WWE title. There's only one of those now. There ain't two anymore. It's the WWE Universal Heavyweight Championship. That's what it is. There's one belt, and Roman has it. And if Cody in his opening promo says, "I came back to get that belt," if Cody loses that match, that you
what the heck are we
not
doing?
good. Yeah, what are we doing? What are we doing?
And WWE, I know people are scared. They have everything riding
win
on
the belt, and then he's going to throw it on the trash on the following Wednesday on Dynamite.
I would die. Shut up. But either way, they have the WWE, and that's the underlining thing here, is they have everything riding on Cody being successful in WWE, because those contracts are coming up on the other side. And whether the WWE brass likes to admit it or not, you're paying attention to the MJFs of the world. The Jade Cargill, who we talked about, her slayed it last night on Dynamite, had a star-making performance. She steps into a WWE ring. That's a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
But if you treat Cody like
Wardlow,
if you treat Cody like trash, and he's taking L's in big spots left and right, and eventually the crowd turns on him, or he's going back to Stardust, or he's in the 24/7 title picture, I'm going to think twice about coming over. But if you keep Cody happy,
we talked about it last week on our WrestleMania preview with Mr. Mike Fish. This was the moment. This is the first guy, and it's a big guy. It's a big guy to come back.
This doesn't work if it's Marco Stunt's the first guy.
Yeah, no offense to him. I like Marco Stunt, but it's Cody. This is the guy. This is the golden goose. AEW doesn't exist if not for Cody. So this is the guy.
Yeah.
You got to treat him properly, because you are showing. You don't think MJF is watching? You don't think Wardlow is watching? You don't think they're paying attention over there when their contracts come up at next year or the year after that, and WWE's coming with the type of money that they just gave Cody? If that money is in play, and they have seen a year of Cody being booked like an absolute star, what are you going to do? And I said, AEW's been around for 3 years. You know me. I was at AEW last night. We love AEW. AEW is my current favorite wrestling product in the world. Not even close a number 2. Not even close. I love that shit. When we were all younger and we all first started watching wrestling, and this, I can't speak for every individual, but I would assume a lot of the guys and gals that are professional wrestlers, their dream was to be a WWE superstar. They watched WWE. It was the main show in town. They saw WrestleMania, and their dream was, I would love to have a match at WrestleMania. I want to be a professional wrestler. I want to wrestle at WrestleMania. Okay, money is important, don't get me wrong, but I would be shocked if 80% of the wrestling industry that's on national television, their dream wasn't to have a WrestleMania match or to wrestle in WWE.
Yeah.
And if down the line, WWE offers you a boatload of money and they have proof that you can be successful elsewhere and come here and still be that person or be successful like that. Yeah. A lot of people probably still have the dream of wrestling for WWE. A lot of them.
I think just this era, we've seen that you can do it another way and be completely successful and be happy. You don't have to reach the pinnacle of WrestleMania if you don't want to. There's more options, which is great. But, I think the WWE maybe they are waking up. Maybe they're starting to realize that because they nixed the third party thing. They're letting their wrestlers now go make money third party, do your Twitch thing, do what you got to do, which is a big step in the right direction because the other competition's doing that. So now you can say, well, you can do that here and we'll give you this and we have more exposure and we have this and we have that. If the WWE decides to start playing ball and really focus on their competition, I know you're number one. Why worry about it? But remember the Attitude Era, right? When they started focusing on WCW and the NWO, what did we get? We got the EX. When you started seeing the end, we got Stone Cold Steve Austin, we got The Rock. They were in competition weekly, head to head. I know it's apples and oranges now, but it's like if the WWE starts taking, like if you plucked MJF from Dynamite Wednesday and put him on Friday on SmackDown and let him be MJF, that's moving the needle. That's taking eyes. You're going, oh shoot, what's that? It's good. It's a good thing. I love it. I'm excited for all the possibilities. I'm excited for what they're doing. WWE, so far, I mean, they got some stuff they need to figure out. They got to get us invested into a 3-hour Raw again.
And I said this. I was watching WrestleMania with someone, and I was like, I thoroughly enjoyed WrestleMania. Basically all the way through. I thoroughly enjoyed it. And I was like, when WWE gives a shit, and when they're at their best, they're at the top, or they're near the top. Like they still do it better than anybody when they're at their best. But my problem is I can't just wait for WrestleMania every year. I need you, and I'm not saying I need WrestleMania every Monday and Friday night, but I need you to at least convince me that you give a shit. Because the booking and what I watch every Monday and Friday, it seems like you don't give a shit.
Yeah.
And I don't want to watch shows that if the people producing them and making them and booking them don't give a shit, why should I? Why should I? You need to convince me I'm going to watch the pay-per-views. I'm going to watch WrestleMania. Most of the pay-per-views the last couple of years, as bad as we knock WWE for their booking, because it has been awful, and for some of the stuff they do, the pay-per-views for the most part have been good because they got top wrestlers in the world having great wrestling matches. We know that they can put on great wrestling matches. I need you to make my time every week matter. And they haven't been able to do that in a long time. I watch Dynamite every week, and there is not something. Everything they show on Dynamite matters.
It
matters.
That's super, or not super, but role models. But he's like, you may not give a shit, but I give lots of shits.
Yeah. I give lots of shits.
No, we do. We care. We love
watching Raw my whole life. You don't think I want to be able to sit down on Mondays and enjoy watching Raw? I've been watching Raw every Monday obviously not every Monday. I have a life. But I've been watching Raw since it's 1993. I was 8 years old. I've been watching Raw my whole life.
You're old.
I am. I am. Fuck it. I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit. I look damn good is what I do. But I've been watching Raw my whole life. It's a staple of my life. Monday nights, 8:00, we watch Raw, bro. That's what we do. And Raw is fucking awful. It's so bad.
And that's
it's brutal.
If your diehard fans think your flagship show is trash, you need to be doing something to get viewers in the door. You need to be giving us the Codys and trying new things and pushing the envelope and stop doing the same thing over and over again. Because again, it's going to take a lot. And I see it on the internet. I don't watch Raw. You see it throughout. How are you going to get those people back that aren't watching?
By consistently booking good television shows. That's what you have to do.
So when people like us come on Thursday night and say, man, Raw was insane.
Yeah. And we've been fair. The couple Raws leading up to WrestleMania, 3 weeks, they were good. I
was there under false pretenses, but they were good.
Yeah, but they were fine. They were putting on decent shows.
But that's the thing. They put on shows that they knew were going to be decent because everybody was watching because they thought Cody was going to show.
Correct.
But then Cody showed, and you were like, fuck it.
Yeah.
Excuse me. But you're like, we got Cody in the first 20. We'll phone it in for the rest of the night. You can't do that. You got us there. We were all there for Cody. And then you told us Roman is going to be in the main event, so you know people stayed for that. And then he cuts this lax, like, all right, whatever, see you Friday. Like, God, no.
Yeah, it's not what it's about.
Have somebody come out, have somebody challenge Roman, give us something new. Do it right now. Strike while the iron is hot, because the WrestleMania weekend, WrestleMania is the big ticket in town. But there was a lot of other great wrestling that a lot of people talked about. But guess what we did? It was all about Mania, because Mania was great. And then you dipped back down to
immediately. Again, and that's the thing. Yeah, that's the frustrating part, is that, like, hey man, you had a successful Mania, like overwhelmingly positive reviews. I know there's gonna be people out there that don't like it, because some people don't like to have fun. But it is what it is. But like, it was overwhelmingly positive all the way around. People enjoyed it. Everyone had a good time. It seemed fun. There was stuff on WrestleMania that was fun. Knoxville and Sami Zayn was fun. Pat McAfee was fun. Like those, like
McAfee is an all-timer, dude.
Dude, he's born for this shit. Born for this shit. He ruled. That was the one thing that we didn't talk about before we got that I was like, we still need to talk about something on Mania. I'm not. We're gonna talk about the Vince stuff after. But that guy, Seven Nation Army, coming out to that, the crowd, like, yes, singing. He had the cowboy cheerleaders. That guy was made for this shit. That guy was made for this.
And I loved his arrogance and his cockiness. And like, he was talking in interviews, he's like, I played in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
This is nothing to me. This crowd means nothing. And he came out, $1 million, swagger, kicked that football a mile. Then he and I don't even count him as a celebrity match.
I don't either.
For the company.
Yes.
He's wrestled before in NXT. He's a staple on their television weekly. And he showed out, and he showed up again. And McAfee, like, I'd like to see him do more. The Vince stuff aside, I think was a little long, and I think you didn't need to get. You kind of, and again, I saw a tweet, and I'm not going to take credit for this, but after all of that, the only person that got over was Stone Cold. You had McAfee kill it. Austin Theory then gets over by getting his heat back, and then Austin takes.
Well,
but I get it.
Here's part of the problem. I thought McAfee and Theory had a pretty good match. Oh yeah,
it
was fun.
Guy was fantastic.
Oh yeah, we'll talk about that. So, I thought that match was great, right? Thoroughly impressed. Yes. Okay, so this is where I'm going. So McAfee wins. Crowd is flipping out, losing their mind that McAfee won. It's like this big moment.
Mm-hmm.
And then Vince kind of gets up. He's pissed off, but then he starts taking off the jacket, undoing the shirt, and it's like, holy shit, Vince is going to get in there and fight Pat McAfee. And at this point, I'm like, okay, cool. Like, I'm all for this. Like, if they're going to have a physical altercation, cool. But then a ref gets in the ring, and I'm sitting there going, they're gonna have a fucking match. And like, remember the rumor? The rumor at first was that Vince was gonna have a match with McAfee.
McAfee got 2 matches at WrestleMania.
Yeah, that was the original rumor.
Ricochet and Finn Balor got 0.
This is not a knock on Pat McAfee. He's great.
No, he's smart.
So my thing. So then they have a match, and Pat McAfee gets squashed by Vince. He just beats 23, 24-year-old, according to Vince, future Universal Champion.
Remember the last time he said that?
Yes, I do. Future Universal Champion, Austin Theory. Pat McAfee defeats him in a real wrestling match.
Yeah.
And then he can't get an offensive maneuver in against a 76-year-old man. That you tell, and I get it. Vince is I get it. Great shape for 76. Great. I'll never be in that type of shape. I'm not going to knock it. Like, he looks great. But you're going to tell me that's how we're doing this? You made McAfee, and I get it. It's all in good fun. Like, at the end of the day, who gives a shit? Yeah. But like, you gave McAfee a moment where it was, because I personally think that if Pat McAfee was like, hey, I'm going to stop announcing, I want to be a full-time wrestler, that dude's a star. He's at the top of your roster. Yeah. Like, he'll get there. Top of your roster from an in-ring standpoint too. Like, he's a natural Like, yes, he was a punter. Dude was good enough to be in the NFL. I don't care if you kick. I don't care what you do.
And he was murking dudes.
Yeah.
Like
he would tackle people. He would block people. Like, he wasn't just a normal 5'0" punter that would punt the ball and then try to like dodge everybody till the play was over. Like, McAfee got after it. You know, he's an athlete. He would be more than fine if he decided to do this full time. And he's clearly over with the crowd. That crowd was eating that shit up, eating it up, as was I watching it on my television. He just knows what he's doing. Yes. And he had this moment. He beats a future champion. He beats a stud, a 24-year-old stud, and then he gets squashed by a 76-year-old dude. My thing is, A, that's dumb. You immediately make him look like a friggin' idiot. And B, the whole thing was to set up Stone Cold coming out. The whole thing was to set up Stone Cold coming out and stunning Vince one last time. Like, I think that's what it was. Hey, let's give him one last stunner forever. You know what I mean? Kind of thing. And you could have got to that. You could have got to that by not having a match.
So the big boot, yeah, he should call it something. I can't remember what he called it. When he was wrestling Adam Cole, he called it something.
Did he? I'd have to go
back and find it.
Yeah, I'd have to go back and find it. I just feel like what you could have done is you could have had Vince get in the ring, act like he was going to fight McAfee, and then Austin Theory hits him from behind or gives him a low blow, whatever. They beat him down for a little bit, and then guess what? The glass shatters, Stone Cold comes out, and everything that we witnessed once Stone Cold came out can still happen as is.
Makes sense.
And that's it. It would save time. It wouldn't have McAfee lose and look like an idiot after he just had this great moment. And we get to the end. We get to the same story. I don't know. Whatever. Again, I nearly wasn't as upset as I sound when it was happening. I was just like, this is stupid. This is stupid. Like, what are we doing? But I'm not upset about it. I just thought it was like, dude, like,
that's another moment though. McAfee was loving it. He was having like
my favorite part. Yeah, my favorite part. My favorite part was he gets stunned. He spits the beer everywhere, but then they show him on the ground and he's like slowly drinking the beer. Oh, hilarious. It was good stuff. It was good stuff. All right.
And then he was tore up because he did like a Instagram post or something.
Yeah. He was drunk after. Yeah, like, on the plane, he was hammered.
He just like, good night, boys.
Yeah, he was hammered drunk.
Just wasted.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. Because I bet you he wasn't on commentary the rest of that night, right? That was it for him, right?
No, that was it. Yeah.
Yeah. So I bet you he probably went out back and was like,
because after that was the main event.
Right? So I bet you I wouldn't be shocked if him and Stone Cold went in the back and just continued to drink.
Stone Cold, in the course of his 2 appearances,
he drank like a case of beer, like 47
beers.
Yeah, he had at least a case of beer,
and he was drinking his stuff.
The lager, though. He was drinking the lager.
But these here for a 4-pack,
16 ounce
4-pack is like $12-13 around here.
Yeah. So he gets that shit for free.
I'm just saying, but I'm saying is that I get that, JPG. I know how it works, but I'm saying as a guy sitting there, he's not just blowing through a $12.24 rack of PBRs or whatever.
No.
He's these are IPAs or lagers. There's a percentage in those bad boys.
Oh yeah.
What is the percent of this IPA?
Well, the IPA, I think it's.
I got her at
7 or 8.
6.7.
Yeah.
So his lager's probably 5.
Yeah, 5. Yeah, probably 5.6 or something like that. Somewhere in the 5s. I know you've been sober for 3 or 4 years now. I'm a big beer guy. I don't drink to excess, but I'm a big craft beer guy. As you could tell by my beard and my thick rimmed glasses, I fit the part. So yeah, I am the typical like, ooh, what is that? 8.3.
I used to be the same way. Yeah,
Petra? Oh,
yeah. This is an unopened.
I'm one of those guys. I wouldn't put you through it because I know you've done some really good work in your life to better yourself and stuff, but I could do a whole podcast on beer too if we really wanted to. I really could.
I probably still could. Based on just my experience of the drinking game, I used to work for a beer company, so I know my way around beer. I actually love diving into like the non-alcoholic game now. There's a lot of interesting ones out there now. I think companies are realizing there's people like me that still enjoy to be a part of the party, but not the party.
Yeah.
So you can find some really interesting things. But yeah, I mean, I'm just saying, like they went through like 50 beers and like he's just like, and then they're part, like you said, they're partying out back. So they're having the time of their lives. Like they were having fun. Probably Taker through, Pat McAfee's back there with Taker and Stone Cold just crushing Bruce. Like, come on. Like, we love that.
Yeah.
Say what you will, but these people are like legends.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Like, yeah, sure, Taker said some stupid stuff, but it's still like in the moment, you're like, this is the freaking Undertaker.
If I'm at WrestleMania and I get to be backstage at WrestleMania and the Undertaker's there and he goes, "Hey, you," I'm like, yeah. He goes, "Come have a beer with us." I'm not saying no.
Yeah, like
the fucking Undertaker.
Just excited for
I'd
that.
Just be moment. Like, "Yes, sir. What?
Yes,
you buying?
Exactly.
You buying? Let's go."
And I think we talk about that a lot on the AEW side of things with our show a lot, about how cool it is for Darby Allin to be hanging out with Jeff Hardy and how cool it is for like Private Party to have those moments with Sting and stuff. Yeah. But this Mania showed me Austin Theory gets to be in the ring with Vince McMahon at WrestleMania, and he's doing spots with Austin. Owens this is bucket list type stuff for a kid who you're growing up going, that would be so cool to wrestle Stone Cold Steve Austin at WrestleMania. It's why you got into the business, because whether we like it or not, there was no AEW back then. Ring of Honor isn't 50 years old. It's 20. Impact is only been, they were the big dog on the yard, and they still showed why they can swing a big stick. And I thought it was a great way to cap off a long weekend of professional wrestling.
I agree. You could argue that the best match of the weekend didn't even happen on WWE programming. I don't know if you saw the match, but
Speedball Mike Bailey.
I mean, he had 7 matches in one day, right?
God, MVP of the weekend.
Yeah, he had 7 matches in one day. Absurd.
I am going to find all of them. Speedball Mike Bailey. I say that jokingly because I know where you're going, but honestly, is becoming easily one of my favorite independent wrestlers
he's
out
good.
there. He's so good.
Just becoming, getting to a different level. But no, the Briscoes and FTR, that match at Supercard of Honor, I didn't originally order that pay-per-view.
Right.
But I saw the Twitter dialogue when that match was happening. And I saw the Twitter dialogue when it ended. It didn't get spoiled for me. I did a good job of kind of like shielding myself from that. And you're right, Hab guy. Mike Bailey is incredible. And he's going to be a massive
prettiest dropkick I've ever seen.
A massive star. He is amazing.
That right now.
But I heard just the praise for the Briscoe. So I ended up ordering the pay-per-view and just fast forwarding and watching the match. Like right after it happened, I just put my phone down, didn't go on Twitter. I said, all right, one of the best tag matches I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
Incredible. And then I saw another one of the best tag team matches I ever saw in my life last night at AEW Dynamite with FTR.
By the way, I forgot to mention Owen watched Mania with me.
Oh, nice.
He is a Bobby Lashley guy.
All right, that's fit.
He likes to go, Bobby Ashley? Yeah. He's a Bobby Lashley fan. Yes. Hi, Owen, my buddy, my guy. Maybe the reason that Mrs. Pluggo is still with me more is this guy. The show's did. But yeah, no, Bruce, and that's one of the things, like, this match had so much build, anticipation, right? It could have let you down. It could have. It could have been like, oh, it
exceeded.
Kind of like the GCW changed the world when the Briscoes were there. We're like, and they got cut short, and we're like, that wasn't what we expected from the Briscoes and GCW. But this did not. It killed it. And then what does FTR do? They turn around 3-4 nights later and put on another instant classic with the Bucks. Like, FTR is just on another level right now.
That's good guys. They're baby faces too.
And they're killing it. And unfortunately, the Briscoes, TNT said no. According to all the reports we read, they don't want them on the program because of some things that were said.
Yep.
Which, that's fine. Their prerogative. Great. So this is a way to do it. Get it over with. I'm sure Tony Khan, granted it wasn't on any cable network, had to have this match. You had to have it.
Oh, of course.
You leaned
and now that he owns Ring of Honor, they could have they're the Ring of Honor champions. Like, they could continue that on Ring of Honor. You know what I mean? Like,
Ring of Rhodes, we talked about that a little last night. Like, I'm not sure who picks him up for a weekly TV spot. I think you have to have weekly TV if you're going to spend $40 million to buy the promotion. But yeah, no, I think that was a great match. It was a killer match. Briscoes, I think you're going to see it again somehow, some way. They'll figure out a way to get it done, whether it be in another promotion or on a Ring of Honor only TV. But yeah, I'm like, God, just wrestling is at an all-time high right now. It's at a peak in terms of like, there's so much good wrestling out there. There's so many ways to watch it, so many places to find it. If you don't like the WWE, there's Ring of Honor, there's AEW, there's Impact, there's the GCW Collective was a screaming success. Warren talked about, Effie's Big Gay Brunch, Joey Janela's Spring Break 6 was good, all sorts of crazy stuff. But I want to talk about JPJ Dynamite because you were there.
Yes.
But I don't know what else you want to talk about.
Oh, no. That's I want to talk about Mania and I want to talk about Dynamite. That's what I wanted to talk about. But before we get to that, let's talk about balls.
Ooh, like baseballs or footballs?
I mean, we could talk about baseballs, but before we talk about baseballs, let's just talk about balls, baby.
Just balls, baby.
Just
balls.
And you know what? You know what, boys? You gotta make sure your balls are clean, fresh, trimmed up, looking pretty. Not for anybody else, but you gotta do it. What?
I said, gone are the days of just your lady friend taking care of her downstairs. Boys, we got to do that too. Mm-hmm. It's time.
It's time.
Gross. It's gross.
It's time. And don't, do it for yourself. You feel better. You feel better if you're feeling fresh. You don't want down there to look like up here. That's all. You want it to be fresh for you. Your partner will love it. You'll love it. And you will love manscaped.com. And if you go to manscaped.com, you type in the promo code Love Wrestling, you will receive 20% off plus free shipping. And that free shipping is worldwide. Wide. So it doesn't matter if you're in Massachusetts, Indiana, Canada, Australia,
France,
Germany. I only know like 10 countries, so I can't go forever. But you know what I mean. Doesn't matter. You could be in Antarctica. As long as you got Wi-Fi, you'll fucking get it. You'll get it. Everyone needs some clean balls. Everyone. You know what Manscaped's saying is? Your balls will thank you. Well, you know what? My balls have been thanking me for 3 or 4 years now because I've been an avid customer of Manscaped for a long, long time. And we are happy to be partnered up with them here at Love Wrestling. So if you go, once more, read the thing on the bottom here. If you go to manscaped.com, type in the promo code Love Wrestling, 20% off and free shipping worldwide.
And go to their social medias and tell them that those beautiful bearded men on Love Wrestling sent you over, and you love the product and you love us, so we keep this going.
Yeah.
It's a fun. You know what I started thinking about there? Like we were doing that, like the Always Sunny drinking game when they're in the car and they're like, name states. While you're thinking drinking. Antarctica, Poland. Struggling to come up with countries. True. We're not here to talk about geography. We're not here to talk about it. We are not. We are what we are. I don't know what we are. You call us wrestling pundits, nerds, fans.
I know what I am, and that is good.
I don't know if I'm any good. I just show up every Thursday night. We do all right.
I would say you're good too.
We do all right. We do all right.
All right. You want to talk about Dynamite? Ask away, my friend.
I do.
Ask away.
I literally want to know because you, my friend, have been to a Dynamite event. I have not as of yet. How was it? Was it fun? Was it like comparatively to like WWE events? Where were your seats? What were your takeaways? Because you see, they do things that they do things off air that you don't see on TV. You just, unless that's just in the WWE. Like I went to a Raw one time around my area where Triple H came out and gave Heath Slater a pedigree, but that wasn't on TV.
Yeah.
So I didn't know what's the vibe like for an AEW event.
All the matches, there's no dark matches. There's dark elevation, like they film that.
Yeah.
But there's no dark matches or dark segments or anything like that, like after the show. What they do though is Justin Roberts. He interacts with the crowd throughout the night. He's very good at it. Like he'll look around, he'll see some signs, he'll point to some people, he'll cut promos. Last night, while we were waiting during commercial break, Rick Knox and a fan in like one of the first few rows, they had a 2 out of 3 rock paper scissors match. So that happened. That crowd was hot, man. That again, AEW crowds. I've been to 4 shows, even though All In technically wasn't AEW. I went to All In, and I've been to the 3 Dynamites that have been in Boston. Every time the crowd is just ready to go. The crowd is ready to go. Boston, we are, I think, considered a top market in the wrestling game. We're not Chicago. We're not New York. We understand that. Fuck New York. But we're not New York. I get that. I understand that. But like we're very passionate. We're very passionate about. We're just passionate people. So we usually have a rowdy, raucous crowd, and that crowd was ready to go from the jump. Show starts. They do Dark Elevation. Unfortunately, Layla Hirsch got hurt right away. It was the first match. It was like 2 minutes into it. Like right away got hurt. So that was a bummer. But after that, that was one of the better wrestling shows I've ever been to. Dynamite ruled.
Yeah, it was
last night.
And then you don't have to answer if you don't want to, but I'm sure everybody wants to know because
hold on.
Yeah,
they will. They will. They'll get up there. 100%. They have to. 100%.
I mean, there's so many good wrestling. It's got to be travel and money things. I thought we talked about it with Carl when he was on a couple weeks ago. There's money. Leave New York alone. It's all about. Oh yeah, dude. Rendsburg was all over.
I sent the photo to Carl. I was like, I tagged him in it too. I was like, here's your buddy. He was like flexing towards the crowd, and he was facing my way. I'm like, I gotta do this.
Was the arena full?
Oh, sold out.
But every time we see the haters, that's empty on social media.
It was sold out. I was in a really good section too. Like we had we were loud, but we were like respect. Like it was like a funny loud. Sometimes you can run in. Again, you can't control people, but sometimes you can run into like some people that are like chanting like things where you're like, oh, don't do that. Like don't be that guy. Don't be that person. But we had a really good section, man. Like they were funny. We were yelling like fun stuff. Like it was good. Like the whole section was good. We were ready. The whole arena was, and the show, the way that it came off that way, you know, I was listening to the recap on my way home from the show of Fightful last night, and Sean Ross Sapp was like, this was one of the loudest, rowdiest crowds I can remember at Dynamite.
Yeah, it was.
And I was like, well, they gave us that was like, literally, it was like, they started off with Adam Cole. So you hear that song and the crowd's like, oh, all right, in it, immediately singing the song, doing that stuff. And they had a great match, him and Christian, a great match. And then Adam Page comes out, cuts his promo. Adam Page rules, over as hell.
King of the Texas Death Match.
Incredible. And then the next thing you see is Samoa Joe. And Samoa Joe comes out, and that crowd was like that. Samoa Joe popped up on the screen, his name, and everyone was just like, oh God. And everyone just like, man, it was just so good. And then, you know, they went on to have an awesome Dynamite. The main event was the best tag team match I've ever seen live. Nothing. I saw the Young Bucks in Private Party. They had that first round matchup in the tournament. That Private Party upset them. That was a really great tag match.
Have guys out here bribing.
Yeah. That was a really great tag match. But that tag match last night between FTR and the Revival was the best tag.
That was one of the best. Doesn't exist. You said the FTR versus Revival.
Sorry. FTR versus the Young Bucks, the Bucks of Youth. Sorry.
You must have got a different feed than I got.
Well, you know.
No, it was a good show to watch. The only issues I had last night, and I know I saw all the tweets and whatnot that this is the same match they had at the Royal Rumble, but that shit made no sense to me. That Hardy Butcher, Blade. It was,
it made no sense to anybody in the crowd. We didn't
right,
know they didn't announce it to the crowd.
That's where I was going to get with to you is because I kept saying on the All Elite sidecast that we did last night that you got to put that stuff on the screen. Like, yeah, it's a great callback, but it made no sense to people watching at home.
So what did they say on commentary? What were the rules?
So they didn't specify the rules at the beginning. They just said it was going to be a tag match.
Yes.
Then they decided to tell us that it's because the Butcher or Hardy?
Butcher or Blade.
Somebody fell through the table, got thrown through a table, but they called it it wasn't a offensive maneuver, so it didn't count.
Well, okay, so Justin Roberts did say that when he was announcing the match to the crowd, he did say that you had to put somebody through a table with an offensive move.
Right. So
my problem was
then they decide
was it a tornado? Like when you went through, you were eliminated.
Right. It was a tornado elimination tag match.
But then Jeff Hardy gets eliminated and he's still there. Still fucking
exactly. So Jeff Hardy gets eliminated, but does the spot to eliminate the Butcher, or I'm sorry, the Blade, when Matt Hardy's the legal, which I get it, no DQ, but it didn't make sense. They didn't explain it. That's like I wanted to ask you because I was sitting there last night, and I usually don't get super fired up at AEW because they usually explain shit to me. They've been doing table matches for 30 years. Yeah, we get that, but you got to explain that shit. You're a different company. If you want to do it this way, that's fine. But why couldn't you have just had Matt get eliminated and Jeff do that spot and have Matt it didn't make sense. So that was my only thing. I wanted to know how that played out live because I've been to wrestling events live, and if you don't have commentary, you don't know what they're talking about. Like I was at Survivor Series 2011 when the Shield debuted.
Yeah.
This is before like NXT was what it is now. So I'm not watching NXT and three dudes just jumped the barrier, beat the shit out of John Cena. And I'm sitting there going, who the hell are these guys? Like nobody popped in the crowd because nobody knew who they were until I go home the next night, watch it back. And I'm like, oh, okay. This makes sense now.
I get it. Like,
Yeah.
One thing I will say, y'all need to make sure you watch Jon Moxley and Wheeler Yuta on Rampage.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not spoiling it, but I have seen into the future, and the future has one of the better, most brutal matches you will see. Wheeler Yuta in that match was made a superstar.
I assume you see the backstage segments on the screen like in real time, right?
Yes.
When you're there.
Yes, we do.
So yeah, when they definitely are teasing the split. So I'm interested to see what they do.
And I will say I still watch Rampage.
Tell me off air.
I still watch Rampage. Rampage, I think, is like not this time that Warren was on here, but last time, or maybe when we were on his show for the picks preview, he had mentioned that Rampage to him was becoming kind of like, I'm going to watch it every week, but I don't have to stay up till 10 o'clock to watch it. Right.
Well, it's 11 o'clock, but yeah.
Is it 11?
Yeah. Cause it's after SmackDown. SmackDown's over at 10 for the Eastern Standard Time. Maybe Warren's on a different time zone. He's up in Canada,
but either way, I have seen into the future. Wheeler Yuta and Jon Moxley. Yes. I have seen into the future. Wheeler Yuta and Jon Moxley main events Rampage on Friday night. And I guarantee you will love that match. That match was amazing. And Wheeler Yuta became a made man in Boston last night.
And I'll say
man.
I'll give a lot of credit. I don't actively go and look for spoilers, but they're out there and you'll stumble across the lot.
I will not give one.
But I was saying, like, I haven't seen many. I never see many spoilers for Rampage
because I think people respect AEW as a company.
Well, that's what I was getting at. Like, I don't know what it is. Like, you'll find spoilers coming out the butt whether you're looking or not. Yeah. Generally speaking, and I feel like I spend probably more time on wrestling Twitter and Facebook and things of that nature due to what we do than most people, and I actually don't run into it. I haven't seen any yet. The only spoiler I think I got from that night was the Layla Hirsch news.
Yeah.
I think everybody just felt bad because Layla Hirsch is a badass.
It was brutal.
She got hurt. And I think
it felt like she was in the middle of a push too. Like I wouldn't have been shocked if she got a match with Thunder Rosa for the title at some point. You know what I mean? Right. And hopefully it's not as bad as it looked, but she did a spot, and this was the first match of Dark. This is the first match we saw. Because how it goes is the bell ring, like the show starts, they film Dark Elevation, then you get the live Dynamite, and then they do Rampage. Unless they're like next week, they're doing a special live Rampage. So, it's true.
Yeah, because like NXT, whenever they ran taped, spoiler, like every set, like you couldn't avoid it. And I've gotten conditioned where my spoilers for wrestling, like I don't get mad if somebody spoils a wrestling match for me because I still want to watch and see how they got. Like if you would have told me the result to the Yuta Moxley match, I'm still gonna go watch it because you told me it was awesome. I want to see how they got there, what they did. Yeah. So because that's just, you're not ever gonna, the surprise now is not like, spoilers don't bother me, but I also don't actively try to spoil things. So if I see something that other people haven't seen yet, like I'm not going to spoil it. So. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Or try not to. Phenomenal. I've done it in the past, and people come after you like by accident. Like I'll accidentally spoil something. I'm like, oh shoot, I didn't realize that was a big deal. People are like, spoilers, bro.
You know, we had just seen the FTR Young Bucks match, so you can imagine how that crowd is, right? We're amped. That match was ridiculous. There, at one point, everyone's losing their mind. Like, holy crap, man. It ends. FTR is over. Who would have thought? FTR as good guys? But I do think I listened to an interview with Tony Khan. I don't know where it was from, but it was from from this week. And he said, like this is the first time that I feel like the wrestling community is being presented with FTR on television or on a show where they can show those guys how much they love them. Like truly. Because they're not bad guys. They're not the assholes. They're like the hardworking, really great wrestlers. Like they're like the hardworking, really great wrestling tag team. And now that they're being presented as good guys, the crowd because the crowd, everybody has always said like, dude, they're the best tag team in the world or one of the best tag team in the world. But they were always bad guys, or they would always, they weren't good guys. So like, people loved them and they were great, but like nobody really, they were never shown the love like this. Right. But now that they're good guys, everyone that's loved them for the last, however long, this is the first time that we can all be like, we just love you. We're going to cheer loudly for you because we want you to win. Like we love you. Like that's how it is. And oh man, it was so good. And then literally Tony. So the thing about Dynamite is like Tony Khan, he comes out like 3 or 4 times in between stuff, and he is so excited about what's about to happen that he jacks you up. Like he gets you jacked up. Like, and it's amazing. Like they should have, like Tony Khan came out right before Dynamite, and he's like, oh, Boston, blah, 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 doing the normal stuff, cheap pops, as Mick Foley would say. And then he's like, we're going to open. We got a great opening match. We have an all-time main event, blah, blah, blah. He goes, we love Boston. You were an early city, second ever Dynamite, blah, blah. And he's like, let's go. And he like screams, like high-pitched screams, let's go. And he's like literally jumping up and down on the stage. And you see this and you're like, yeah. And everyone's like, yeah, right. And then you're just off to the races. But like, that's the owner of the company. And he is as excited to be there and watch Dynamite than we are.
Well, yeah.
At least that's what he puts across. And then he gives you a show like that, and you're like, man, what the hell, bro? Like this guy, it was a perfect night. It was a perfect night. And then
that's why I hate when people shit on Tony Khan.
He's done some dumb. You have to criticize when
you're not excited about your product, then you shouldn't own the company.
Yeah, and like you have to criticize. He's done some stuff that is very much worth criticizing.
Yeah, he's not perfect.
Anybody that like complains about him promoting or doing whatever,
you can't
like
knock his enthusiasm.
Yeah, what are we doing, guys? Like he is one of us. He's one of us, and he gets to run a company on he's one of us. We should be rooting for that guy. But anyway,
because it's
just
good
go
for
out of your way.
competition.
Go out of your way.
Because if
Make sure you
AEW
see the
doesn't
Moxley Wheeler
exist-
match.
If AEW doesn't exist, Cody Rhodes is still Stardust.
Yeah, literally. All right. Well, anything else? I think on that note, we've kind of hit everything. We had a long form Mania.
I
We
was
talked
gonna
about
just
Dynamite.
ask about Paul O'Neill and how that's going. Baseball opened up today.
Yeah, my friggin' Red Sox they were playing the Yankees. We're opening
Cubs
up
are
against the Yankees.
undefeated, baby.
Are they?
Yeah.
The Red Sox are opening up against the Yankees. We were supposed to play today, but opening day postponed. What a bummer.
I know, right?
You get ready for opening day for like 6 months, especially when you're baseball.
I got this on today.
Oh, trash. Ugh, gross. I don't dislike the Rays because they really haven't. They haven't.
Yeah, I just thought I'd ask you how you're. I know you got rained out, so you're in a little bit of a bummer. The Cubs are surprisingly undefeated, so we're on pace to go 162-0. Super excited.
Gotta love it.
That.
You gotta love it.
I don't think we're gonna sustain it year round. I think we're in rebuild mode, but yeah, baseball's back.
Yeah, no, I'm excited. I've made you guys know everybody that tunes in every week. I'm a big baseball guy. I love baseball. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited about it. Should be good. I wish I could have. I had today off from the shoot job, so I was ready for opening day. I was like, Red Sox, Yankees, opening day. I'm off. Like, let's go. And then they announced yesterday that it was postponed, and that it's going to be Friday afternoon, right in the middle of my shift at work. And I want to jump out this window right here. That's how I feel. I'm not going to, but I do.
Right,
so,
but they'll just play 2 tomorrow, right?
No, I don't think they're opening with the doubleheader. I think we play them. They're in our division. We play them 19 times. They'll just make up that game at some point on an off day. Or they'll make a 3-game series, a 4-game series in like fucking July or some shit, and that'll be it. And I'll be like, all right, rock and roll.
I wonder what goes into like a huge, like you get so excited for opening day. You have all this stuff planned because it's opening day, and then you rain it out.
Can I tell you a story?
Yeah.
I forget the year. I was in high school though. But I went to opening day. It was an opening day, and it was pouring rain all morning. They had the opening day. We did all the opening festivities. And Ray Charles, God bless his soul, Ray Charles was there to sing America the Beautiful.
That's a big hit.
Yeah. Yes, it is. This poor guy, Ray Charles, out there on a platform above the bullpens at Fenway Park, performing America the Beautiful in the pouring, cold April rain. He later on that year died. And I'm convinced that it had something to do with that. That guy was like 90 in the pouring rain. April in Massachusetts, it's like 40, 50 degrees. On a good day. Good day, you might reach 60, but it is not warm. It is not warm. And they had this old legendary man out there. That game, they postponed the game today. It was drizzling in New York. That shit should have been postponed a week before it was happening. That's how hot it was raining. That's how hot it was raining that day. We had no business being there. No business being there. They made that poor guy go out there in the rain.
There's probably
and
video
sing that song. Oh, there is 100%. 100% in the rain. And he died like a few months later.
Oh, that's funny.
Convinced.
Not funny, but sad. You know what I mean?
I know it's sad, but like my God.
How do you? So I always wanted to play this game. We're not going to do this on. We're pretty much wrapping up. We've had a good show. I always wanted to ask you about random baseball players, see if you ran. So I pulled some cards I have behind me. How do you feel about Jose Canseco?
He was a Red Sox for a year.
He was.
Obviously, I believe he is a fraudulent baseball player because of the steroid stuff. However, I do believe at the end of the day, he was right. He was the first one. He was the first one that came out and said all these guys are cheating.
Would you say you like Jose Canseco more than Paul O'Neill?
As a human being, I would say no, because Jose Canseco said some terrible shit. But as a baseball player, 100%. Paul O'Neill's trash.
What about Carlton Fisk? How do you feel about
Carlton? I mean, he was a Red Sox great. His number's retired.
All right. I'm throwing out random.
His number retired. Game 6 World Series. Come on. That's one of the iconic moments just in baseball history.
I pulled a random Jason Jordan Raw card out.
Oh, there we go. I miss Jason Jordan.
I do too. I'm not going to
American Alpha ruled. American Alpha ruled.
Subject our fans.
You want to know one of the best tag? Now that I'm thinking about tag team matches because of the FTR Young Bucks match last night, I was at the Takeover in Dallas where it was the Revival versus American Alpha when American Alpha won the titles.
They were
incredible,
fire, dude. Like
those matches that those dudes had were amazing. That was one, probably until last night. That was probably the best tag team match I've ever been around for. Incredible. But anyway, on that note,
oh look, I pulled an Ezekiel. Oh, it's Elias.
No, that's Ezekiel's older brother.
Oh, sorry.
Elias.
Damn.
They're not the same person.
Yeah, we're not going to subject you guys to this. I just was trying to shoot the shit and be funny, and I didn't pull anything good. So, and I mean, surprised how nice you were about Jose Canseco, though.
Look, he was right. He called baseball out on that steroid shit, and everybody gave him so much crap about that. Oh. And he was right. He was right. It is what it is. However, though, he is kind of a trash human.
Definitely.
Yeah, you didn't pull out any Yankees, so you're not going to pull out a Scott Brocious card.
I did pull out a Roberto Kelly for the Yankees, but I didn't think you would know who that is.
No, I'm going to know who that is. I know probably every baseball
player.
The only
Yankee in this stack that I have right here, I just passed him. This is bad. No, these are like 1990 Stadium Club, which I think is a clean.
1990? Don Mattingly.
Donnie Baseball. There's
Donnie Baseball.
Sosa rookie card right there, which is kind of cool.
Another one that's fraudulent.
Jack McDowell.
Jack McDowell. I remember him with the Blue Jays though, because I'm a Red Sox guy. So Blue Jays and White Sox.
The Cubs. But yeah, I bought this random stack of cards at Joe Girardi.
Wow.
For the Cubbies. Kurt Gibson.
Does he manage Philly? Does he manage Philly now?
I think so. He's hanging out with Bryce Harper. But yeah, baseball's back, so I had to throw some baseball in the show. We talk about it. Like I said, Cubs get the W today, so we're going to win the World Series, which we're not, but it'd be cool.
That'd be dope.
I bought this random stack of old baseball cards at Goodwill for like a couple bucks, and all the good ones were pulled out of it. But you still find. Like there's a Barry Bonds in here. He is a stick figure. I just can't find Billy Ripken, Cal's brother. There you go. One of the most iconic baseball cards of all time.
The Billy Ripken one?
Well, not this one of my, but the one that he has he wrote F face on the knob of his bat. So you find out. Anyway, we're just rambling on. We're just filling time. Making
we don't need to. We can get out of here.
Yeah, we don't have anything else. It was
we run our own schedule around here. We don't
have to hit a certain time. I was just I'm not 100. I believe. Plus, if we get out of here early, you guys will get access to Bobby Munson and Papa Smokes doing the Major League Wrestling talk. They're going to talk about ML. Major Love Wrestling. They're going to talk
but it's about Major League Wrestling. Yes.
MLW.
And we were talking about Major League Baseball, so that's why we did this. We go from the Major Leagues of Baseball to the Major Leagues of Wrestling. With
Bobby Money Munson. I like to call him Bobby Looney Munson because he's in Canada. We will
there he is right there. Yeah, I believe.
There he is.
Yeah.
Where you been all night talking trash? No,
he just put us over, bro.
I know.
The fuck you trying to fight the guy for? He just put us over. What's wrong with you?
Bobby and I got unfinished business.
Well, that don't seem like unfinished business. That seems like praise, which we deserve. Be quiet.
I love Bobby. I love Bobby. He knows I'm joking. 70. He's the 70 cents guy. He's Looney. He's Bobby. Papa Smoke. They're gonna give you your MLW recap right after us. They kill it. Everyone here at Love Wrestling kills it. Give us a like, a follow, subscribe.
Do the thing. But we're going to get out of here. We had a big, this was a long show, almost 2 hours. Talked about Mania. I was at Dynamite last night, so that was obviously a blast. I wanted to talk about that a little bit as well. But yeah, we're going to say our goodbyes, and then we will let Major Love Wrestling hop on here soon. So stick around if you love MLW. Even if you don't know much about MLW, those two know their stuff, and MLW is a good product. I need to watch more of it.
Sure.
Hang around. It's a good show. So, Pluggo, have a great anniversary tomorrow.
Thank you. Shout out to my wife.
I hope you're taking her out to a very nice meal, or you're having a good date night.
I don't know what we're doing.
Well, motherfucker, it's your anniversary tomorrow. I would hope you would know.
She told me today that somebody was watching the kids Saturday, and I said, "What are we doing?"
Oh, so are you celebrating on Saturday? It's tomorrow.
Yeah, so we got to work tomorrow, both of us. But we'll hang out.
Pluggo, manscaped.com, 20% off.
Right.
Promo code Love Wrestling. Have
Get the
yourself a
ball forward.
hell of an anniversary weekend. I'm sure the Manscaped products will be flowing this weekend.
They will be. They're gonna
Flowing.
I got a haircut and everything. We're gonna celebrate. So
sparing no
expense, baby.
No expense. Here it is. Promo code Love Wrestling, 20% off. On that note, for Mr. Pluggo, follow him on his socials.
Yes, sir.
Here. Follow me on my socials here.
And
follow at B2 Beards on everything. Right. On everything. TikTok, Twitter, Facebook,
Twitch,
everything.
Twitch,
all of it. Give us a follow. Hang on here for some major Love Wrestling. Follow, like, subscribe, Love Wrestling. Do the damn thing. Shout out
to our producer, the Ecto Guy, for always.
Ecto Guy, Alex, killing it as always behind there, hooking up all the comments on the screen, stuff like that. Thank you again to Warren Hayes for hopping in at the beginning of this.
Definitely.
Always a pleasure when we can have that man on. He is one of my favorite people to talk wrestling with. Thank you to everybody hanging in the chat. We'll see you next Thursday at 8 p.m. And until then, peace out.